Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. Friday oftentimes is future day, and many times we just simply say this could be for leaders only, at least for those who are or want to be. And that's kind of true today. My subject is for today, I got thumped on Thursday. Yes, I got thumped on Thursday. And here's the quote, here's the question, here's the wondering. How could we have gotten things so wrong? How could we have gotten things so wrong? And that's something we need to think about as we go forward into the future as people who seek to be and perhaps have to be leaders. Perhaps some random thoughts, maybe a little bit of rambling, but I hope it'll be something interesting and helpful and useful to you. The program is Interesting Ideas, and it begins right now. Some of you have heard me before say that, I like come to Thursday, that proverbial Wednesday's the hump day, and on the hump day, you're supposed to thump it. Well, then I said Thursday is oftentimes look out for the turbulence day. Well, here's the deal. On Thursday, I not only got turbulence, I myself got thumped. What a day! And perhaps you have days like this. Very well, got off to a good start, had a tough project. But you know what? I attacked it early in the morning, and it put itself together. I had to make things happen. I had to be at my best, and I was able to put some things together, make some corrections in something that had gone wrong, and got it fixed. Felt very, very good. And so the product, the podcast, it was ready to go by noon. And I was so pleased and put it up there. And it's, as one of my friends would say, you not only made it, you shipped it, you delivered it, and they have it. And that is success in the business world, except for one thing. Did they pay you for it? And hopefully they will. But guess what happened? I just found myself, after taking a break from the project, having a very light lunch, because I know I now have to do more light lunches and perhaps find out how in 23 I'm going to be a few pounds lighter. I just have to do that to catch up with what COVID put on top of me. But my mind just went blank. I mean, I had a radio program yet to do, and that's why I didn't get one done yesterday. I just simply found that I couldn't think of what I should do next or what we should talk about. No ideas came to me. The thoughts that I had had before about what the program could be, they just kind of escaped me. And I didn't quite figure it out. I just know that I've got a lot of stress and distress, but I also have a lot of opportunity and success. But I just got knocked emotionally and kind of spiritually, and certainly in terms of activity, just got knocked out, got thumped. Has that ever happened to you? I know for many of you, you have a day like that. And finally, I actually just confessed it to my wife, and she said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to my corner." And in the studio, I have a corner. And I'm looking at it right now, and it has a big chair there. And I said, "I'm just going to sit in it." And she said, "That's a good idea." And that's what I did. And I did it for some time. I didn't fall asleep, but what happened was, by the evening, she came to me and said, "Are you better now?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "Good for you." But that's what happened. And I honestly believe that there are times, it's more than honestly believe, I think it's absolutely true, that oftentimes your body will just tell you what to do if at least you're smart enough to listen. Now, when I was younger, I would push through. And sometimes that's when some of the mistakes were made. I now have learned that when life gives me a thump, perhaps I should just go down. Just go down. Don't try and get back up. Go down for the count. Take 10 and sit in your corner and see what happens. That's what I did. I'd love to hear your thoughts on something like that. So there was no program yesterday, and that's okay. It was just a radio program anyhow, and there's no damage done. Nobody was hurt. Maybe some people were glad, but here we are back on Friday, and we're okay. However, things are not okay, and I'm wondering as we go ahead, are we going to do things better? Because there was a discussion that broke out on the internet and came with a very, very good letter by one of the participants in the program. And what happened was he just simply said this: how could we have gotten so many things wrong? How could we have gotten so many things wrong? I don't know what your thoughts on that, but I have a few thoughts for this Friday. I would be glad if you'd perhaps share some with me after I tell you where I think we might be. And maybe we need to do something very different in what we do and what we are, and maybe what we believe. I'm Stan Hustad. The program is Interesting Ideas. We're at 7 minutes. We'll just take a few more, and then we'll send you on your way for hopefully a thoughtful, restful, refreshing, worship-giving weekend. We'll be back. Certainly things are not good around the world. You look at the news, the term now is nightmare in Europe, a winter nightmare in Europe, and there's a good deal of discussion going around as to how things might work out in terms of Europe. And as winter now comes, will there be enough stuff to keep people warm? And if there even is anywhere near enough stuff, and that's the problem, what is the stuff to keep people warm? After all, the solar panels and the windmills may not be able to make it now that perhaps we are not doing the traditional fossil fuel thing as we had done before. And could it be that if you have some stuff, can you even afford the stuff? So many people are talking, here's what'll happen. If people don't have enough to eat and they're cold and they're locked up or locked down or they have to go down to even survive in the weather, things can get bad, very soon. And so that was what one very brilliant commentator who's been right on so many things said. He said, I am cautious. I'm very worried that we're going to see some real energy problems in America. But the problem in Europe and in other parts of the world could be even much worse. Then that is going to affect everything because all of the economic systems and the financial systems are now interconnected so much. So it could be a bad time. in many ways. So we need to think, what should we do? We need to pray for asking for great wisdom. But that could be what is coming. How did we get it so wrong? Okay, the COVID happened. And obviously, there's no going back and saying, okay, we should have known more or we should have done more or whatever happened. It was certainly a situation where we'd never been there before in terms of recent memory, and a lot of people just didn't know what to do. And so we began to prescribe things to do, and then we denied people the ability to do things. We decided we needed to shut down the economy. We needed to shut down the school system. We needed to vaccinate everybody because every vaccination was safe and that would keep you from getting COVID. And we should vaccinate our children. And we should vaccinate healthy young adults. And now it's continuing where a number of the colleges and universities are now saying that unless a student or staff member gives proof of vaccination, their career and their position in the university might be at risk. And yet, that may not be something very helpful or useful or true. How did we get so many things wrong? What do you think? Well, first of all, I would simply say, as a performance coach, here's what we used to do when I had people who were asking me to try and help them with a mess. Okay. First of all, just write down in your own words what happened. What happened? See, the first thing you do in problem solving is you get the story as best as you can and as truthfully as you can. Don't blame. Don't make any judgments. Don't attack. But what happened? As best we can. All right? Second, what do we now know we probably should have done differently? What do we now know that we probably should have done differently? Now, here is the problem. I said, don't attack and don't judge, but eventually we will start doing that. And sometimes maybe we have to. But the problem is that doesn't necessarily help us deal with the day or deal with the future. What should we have done differently? Okay. Hopefully we'll get some consensus, but we won't get true consensus. And that's where you, as the leader, have to step forward and say, from now on, this is how we will do it differently. This is what we will do going forward. And then you're going to get resistance. What do you do with the resistance? You resist right back. See, part of what the old HR stuff that I was taught in my graduate work about participative leadership. Everybody is a leader. Participative leadership. Well, some of the things that went wrong, like, hey, that defund the police, no criminal bail, immediately go to electronic sustainable fuel, build electric cars now, and some of them are starting to explode. Okay? All of that stuff happened. Leaders then have to have the courage to say, from now on, this is what we do. And this is the feedback, and this will be the commentary that I will accept, and I will listen. But from now on, this is what we are going to do. And then you'll have to do, in some cases, what Donald Trump was famous for. 2 words. You're fired. You're fired. You can't teach kids anymore. You're fired. You can't do that in this place. If you do, you're fired. In effect, sometimes what you will have to do is say, I'm the leader. I may not be the best leader, but I'm going to do my best, and I'm the one who takes the responsibility and takes the hit, and I take it now. And so you're going to have to either get on a different seat in the bus, because I'm driving the bus, or you're going to have to get off the bus. The old, what makes a company great? You get the right people on the bus in the right seats, and you get the wrong people off the bus. Simple, Jim Collins, what it takes to be great. So that's my thoughts here as we go forward. And now it's the weekend. If you are in leadership positions, take time to pray about, to think about, to talk seriously with people you love and care for, and people who can help you say, okay, now, in my life and in my business, from now on, this is what we do. And we will not do the same thing. We will do things differently, starting now. This is a good time. The political earthquake is going to happen, and we'll be able to find out where the world in the United States is going. With that, you will be prepared to look at the mess or the digress or the distress or whatever comes out of the election, but you will be prepared to emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, maybe philosophically, maybe physically be ready to make your move. May you make good choices. May it go well for you. I'm here to help you. I know I can do that. I've done it before for many situations, and I'm pretty good at it. Hopefully you'll understand I'm quite humble in my exclamations, because many times you'll hear me say, this is the best that I can do. And remember, there's just so many things that I don't know. And the older and wiser and smarter you get, oftentimes that's exactly what you say. I'm sorry, I don't know. Let's find out. All the best and blessings to you. Take care. May you have a good weekend. Bye for now.